Hello, you guys. Sorry, my hair is a little crazy right now. Sorry about the time change either. So I leave Wednesday. For our team retreat in Asheville, North Carolina. And I was looking at my agenda today and I'm like, oh my gosh, I overbooked. I have some things I'm doing at 1:30 to get things together for the retreat. So the nice thing is that if you guys are able to hop on live, cool. If you're not, this is recorded, right? So you can watch it at 1:30 if that's what you had already planned. I see some people hopping on, and this will stay up. Okay. So this week is actually my favorite week because some of you guys are newer to kind of the Mind and Body Studio groups that I host. Others have been in them before. And I came up with this concept to do the whole Mind and Body Studio, like, I don't know, September of last year. I was like out walking at a park and I was like, you know what? The one area that people struggle with is mindset, right? Like we can give you all the tools, the workout, the nutrition, the supplements, the support. But like, if I can't help you with your mindset, none of that is going to matter. None of that is going to be able to turn into a sustainable thing unless you're maybe going out on your own and looking into the mindset thing. I really do believe that's like the one missing key to why people can stay sustainable or they can't, right? So, so this is my 6th or 7th group like this. So I hope that you guys are loving the concepts. I hope that you are taking that think, feel, act cycle and actually applying it to your life, because week 1, okay, so if you go back and you look at the resources and you're like, oh gosh, I don't know, I didn't see that video. It's okay. If you go back to, I think it said you click on media maybe, and it says videos, you can see the first video that I put up in here. I go over the think, feel, act cycle, okay? There's also a resource, if you click on the file section, that walks you through step by step what that think, feel, act cycle is, okay? Because with anything in life, the way that we think about it will create a feeling. The way that we feel about it will create how we act, okay? And if we keep repeating the same thing, right, definition of insanity, eventually we get the results, right? So I know that seems so simple, you guys, but like, I can't even tell you how many times I've talked to people where they're like, I basically just woke up and I gained 30 pounds. And I'm like, we both know that that's not true, but it can feel like that, right? When you're just kind of going through the motions, like not really intentionally working on improving your life, okay? But when we can take some time to slow down and create the awareness and pay attention to the patterns that we are creating in our life. Hopefully you guys listened to my live Q&A on Friday, because I talked about breaking the chain, okay? In the file section, there's a sheet that helps you really slow down and pay attention to the actions that you're taking and why you're taking them. And by doing that, you guys, the first couple times, especially when you're learning this model, okay, it's going to feel weird. It's going to feel uncomfortable. I saw some people, Lisa, I saw you say this as well, some others, that maybe Katie, that were like, I don't think I did this right. Okay, that's a sneaky thought, okay? Like, yes, there's like a few things that maybe we need to tweak here and there, but I want you guys to just really trust your gut, okay? And just like go with it. I'll help you, okay? I will help you through the model when you drop it there, but every time your brain tries to offer to you, you're not doing it right, push it away. Okay, because messy action, just taking the time to really just messy action, pay attention to what's going on here and getting it down on paper is a huge step, huge step. Because once you're aware of something, you can change it. But if we're unintentionally living our lives, right? We're not creating the awareness. That's where it comes down to, oh, I woke up and I gained 30 pounds. Like we know that didn't happen, but it feels like that. Okay. So week 1, we talked about the model. Hopefully you guys are using it. I will tell you my best clients, the ones that have get the most out of this 4 weeks, but then afterwards, okay, are taking that model and they are doing it over and over. It becomes a part of their life. For me, you guys, what I do every single morning is I wake up, I do like a 3 to 5 minute meditation through the app Headspace, okay? And then I've created the habit of like, you know, habit stacking, that then I grab that sheet. I have it printed out too, you guys. I have it right here, okay? So I go through and I do my thought work. Okay, so working through that think, feel, act cycle, letting my brain kind of brain dump, okay? And then I listen to my personal development. So hopefully you guys are either listen to soundtracks by Jon Acuff, like I suggested at the beginning, or the High Five Habit with Mel Robbins. Here's the thing, you guys. Could you do this group without that? For sure. But that's not the point. For many of you guys, you've done the workouts, you've done the nutrition, you've done the supplements, okay? And for some of you, you're like, this isn't working, right? Or why do I keep falling off track? It's because you're missing a very pivotal point of health. And if you get to, I think it'll be workout 15 with Autumn. I had to skip ahead and do Dirty 30. Have fun with it. Her mindset stuff is really good. But she says, everything begins with your thoughts, right? Everything else doesn't matter if you're not paying attention to this, okay? So hopefully I've gotten through that message, okay? So create that habit, you guys, but also give yourself that grace and discipline. As you're adding in something new, your brain is gonna try to offer to you that you're doing it wrong, okay? Remember what I said week 1, you cannot control that first thought, you can control the second, okay? So that is like almost like a prompt to yourself. When your brain offers you, sorry, it's like, I don't know, snowing, hailing, something here in Ohio, because it's spring in Ohio. But I don't know if you can hear the wind. When your brain offers that, it should be like a cue to yourself. Oh, no, that's not true. That is just a thought. I'm learning something new. I'm going to give myself grace as I learn this new concept, right? But also discipline to stick with it. Because you guys, I've been doing this model for 3 years. 3 years in my own life, okay? And my brain still tries to offer to me, you know what you're doing. And I'm like, but I've done this a lot. I've done it a lot. I do know what I'm doing, okay? So just know it's a sneaky thought. Got it? Okay, so week 2, you guys, we talked all about those forward, backward motion cycles, okay? That is another tool in your toolbox as you continue on your journey and making it sustainable, okay? So again, when your brain tries to offer to you because you had a piece of cake over the weekend that wasn't on the plan, or you missed a workout, or maybe you just had a full day of like emotional eating, you guys, okay? I've seen some people comment, you know, like my emotional eating is coming back up, you guys. Being like mean to yourself and judging yourself and beating yourself up in that moment does not serve you. Literally does not serve you, okay? Like sometimes I think we think like if we beat ourselves up, it makes it better. Okay? Like it does not serve you. Again, a prompt, when your brain goes to there, you're like, wait, this is not serving me. How can I be, it's like we have to lean into our growth area. How can I be kind to myself in this moment? Okay? Like how can I help myself pivot? I always think of like walking down Candyland, right? Like you're like do with those little people. Anyone else play Candyland with their kids? Okay, and it's like you get one of those, the candies that send you back, right? It's like, okay, you slid back a little bit. What do you do now? Are you gonna sit there and like pity party it? My 6-year-old or 7-year-old tries to, and I'm like, no. You pick the next card, right? You pick the next color and you keep moving forward. Same thing with those cycles, right? It's like, okay, what's the next action that's going to help me pivot right back on track? Okay. Your water, your meal, the things that you're saying to yourself, those are all very simple actions, but we make it so black and white, right? We make it so good or bad. Like, oh, I was bad, so I need to be punished. I need to judge myself. No, you just pivot right back on, you guys, and you keep going, because that's sustainability. I think sometimes we create the thought that like, and this was me, very black and white, it has to be perfect in order to see results. I saw a quote recently from like another health and fitness professional. And actually in my nutrition courses where it says just a 10%, and I'm not telling you guys to give 10%, okay? But just a 10% increase in your journey by changing something that like by 10%, okay, every single day is good enough to see results. It doesn't have to be 100%. Okay, remind yourself of that. Autumn talks about that in Dirty 30 on day 15 too, which I won't give too much away. Okay. All right. So week 2 is all about pivoting back on, having that tool in your toolbox to say, okay, I did something that in the past I would have said like, oh, that just ruined my results. No, it didn't. Okay. Pivot right back on. What's the next action I can take? Got it? All right, week 3, you guys, is all about micro wins. Now, this is, like I said, my favorite topic. Why? Because I'm a former all or nothing person, okay? And I used to be very obsessed with the scale. What the scale said, the way that my clothes were fitting, all of that stuff, okay? And depending on like what it said that day, I would either be in a good mood or a bad mood. Can anyone relate to that? Can anyone relate to that? So I ask you, before we really dive into this topic, what's your current relationship with the scale? Now, some of you guys have great, I think I saw Meg on here, Meg Zeller. She's got a great mindset around the scale, okay? But some of you are where I was 3 years ago, where it's like, that's what's talked about a lot. Thank God the health and fitness world is like kind of steering away from the scale and away from BMIs and all that stuff, you guys. It's so funny because health professionals they focus on the scale or they focus on the BMI and they don't take into account the amount of muscle that you have on your body or like how heavy your bones are. I have super heavy bones, like super heavy bones. Just means I won't break things as easy, right? Okay, so what's your relationship with the scale, okay? Are you obsessing over that number? Is it dictating your mood for the day? Oh, I think back to that and it's like, I wish I could go back and shake that woman, okay? My husband used to do it too, where it was like, we would put so much emphasis on what that scale said. And even if I would have had a whole week of 100% perfect nutrition, because I was psycho, would not deter at all, right? Workouts, nutrition, all that stuff. If I stepped on that scale and it didn't say what I thought it should say, I would erase all of that hard work I put in. That's not fair to you, right? That is not fair. You're giving way too much power to that scale, okay? Because remember, that scale as women, I think it's all women in here, it can go up 1, 5, 10 pounds, okay? For like the silliest things, you guys, the silliest things. Even if you are doing absolutely everything right, okay? Or even if you're just slightly off, okay? Say your sleep is a little off. My sleep was so crappy this weekend. So crappy. Thanks, children. They don't know how to sleep in, okay? My sleep was not good. My hormones, right? Like lovely time of the week or time of the month that's continuing on way longer than it should. Gotta love hormones, right? Time that you ovulate, okay? So during that cycle as well, like when you start your period as well as when you ovulate. So that's twice a week or twice in 1 month, you guys. Twice in 1 month. That as women, our hormones go woohoo, right? And then also if you're perimenopausal or if you're going through menopause, again, you guys, this stuff is out of our control, okay? And it's actually part of a healthy body to go through those things, all right? But yes, it can affect the scale, okay? So remember that. Your water intake the day before, if you, for whatever reason, maybe you were out at sport events or you were traveling, okay? And you just didn't have as much water as you normally do. That can affect the scale. Sodium intake, you went out to dinner or whatever. You have more sodium. That's gonna affect the scale. You're sore from the workouts. I mean, week 2 was a doozy. I was so sore, okay? That affects the scale. If you're stressed out, there's a lot of stuff going on, right? We all have stuff going on. If you're not doing things to help yourself relieve that stress, okay, laughing, smiling, being silly, that's like a really quick way to relieve stress. Watching funny things, reading a book, going for a walk, meditating, okay, taking a bath. Like there's so many little things that can help you relieve stress. That doesn't involve food, okay? But that can affect the scale as well. So remembering that as you go through your journey, you guys. Now, this is where the concept, like I said, that the micro wins came in, is because I became very aware of the fact that I had too much power that I was giving to that scale. And that the scale was something I didn't have a ton of control over. So why not come up with a way to help myself, to help you guys know that you're winning, okay? Not tricking your brain, but know that you are winning every single day. I know some people try to put a lot of crap on instant gratification. I mean, I get it. It gets a bad rep, but I want you guys to have that instant gratification on your journey in a positive way. Not with like expecting to lose 15 pounds like that. Okay, that's not the instant gratification I'm talking about. But really learning how to pay attention to those little changes that are happening, not physically, you guys. Well, maybe your clothes are fitting a little differently, right? But that's not really like the micro win, okay? But the things that can happen in literally 24 hours of eating healthy, okay? So what are those micro wins, you guys? A better mood, Like when you are putting good food in your body, you are listening to positive stuff. You're going through that mindset work that I've talked about, right? So you're doing the model. You're listening to soundtracks or High Five Habit. You're being kinder to yourself. You're drinking water. You're doing all of those actions, right? You're going to be in a better mood, okay? So that's one of the micro wins, better mood, more energy, okay? That's one of my favorite things of like eating healthy and working out is that I have so much energy. I'm like so productive. I get so much stuff done. When I eat like crap, I am like a bump on a log. Like literally don't want to do anything. Okay? Better sleep. Better sleep is like the best. Like that deep, good sleep. Is anyone having that micro win? That's one of my faves too. You wake up and you're like, oh, I feel so refreshed. Such a good feeling, okay? You're getting stronger, so you're noticing that you're lifting heavier weights. I've seen a few people comment like, oh, I'm lifting heavier than I did last week. That's a huge micro win, okay? You are able to keep up with autumn. I'm also seeing people say that. They're like, okay, yep, that's my flex. I kept up with autumn the whole time, right? Your cravings are going down. I know for myself, I used to give myself some slack and I would say, during that time of the month, I just crave this and that. You guys, that's not normal. That's not normal during that time of month to like crave more sweets or crave more salty things, okay? That is a sign from your body that something is off. So what I suggest, whether you're following 2B Mindset or Portion Fix, is that you are really paying attention to, am I getting in enough healthy complex carbs? And that includes fruit as well as some starchy vegetables, okay? But also like sweet potatoes and oats and quinoa and those kind of things, okay? So am I getting enough starchy kind of complex carbs? Am I getting enough protein? Am I getting enough healthy fat? If you are having those balanced throughout the day, you guys, you really should not be having a ton of cravings. Are you physically having those cravings or is it a mental thing? Okay, are you just saying like, I want a sweet? Like sometimes it happens, okay? So you're having less cravings. Maybe you are feeling that your clothes are fitting better. Like I said, that's more of like a physical micro win, but it's also a fun micro win, okay? Better digestion. This is always like, again, one of my favorite things. Coming from someone who has a gluten and dairy kind of intolerance, have had stomach issues most of my life. When my digestion is good and like I'm feeling like, okay, I'm putting good food in my body, I don't have to worry about like, where's the bathroom? Some of you guys can relate. Maybe it's TMI for others. But that is a huge flex when your body is functioning the way that it should and you don't have to worry about that stuff, okay? And that's a huge micro win. Feeling more relaxed. When we are aligned, right, we are focusing on our mindset, we're putting good food in our body, we're getting good sleep, we're talking kind to ourselves, we're moving our body, you're gonna feel naturally more relaxed and calm, okay? And the last thing, you guys, and I said it before, but I'll say it again, is that you're talking kind to yourself. I am mentoring some people in our team right now. And one of the things that I notice from women, a lot of us, 100% of us, right, is that, well, I won't be so bold to say that, maybe 99.9% of us, we immediately go to judging ourselves, beating ourselves up, thinking that there's something wrong with us, if like our body is not changing the way that we think it should, okay? Instead, I want to help you guys lean in the opposite direction. Obviously, take ownership, grace and discipline. So giving yourself grace if maybe the first 2 weeks have not gone the way that you think they should have, right? But then the discipline or ownership piece of it, of saying, so why? What can I do the next? How many workouts do we have? 7 workouts left. What can I do the next 7 workouts to really stay disciplined to that week 1 goal that I set for myself, okay? So talking kind to yourself, that's a huge flex as well. Because the cool thing about this, and I know a lot of you guys are moms, okay, is that when you start talking kinder to yourself and you embody that kind of person, one, people want to be around you because who wants to be around negative Nancy, right? But other people pick up on it, okay? I have noticed that like even my children, it's so funny because like I have a almost 4-year-old and a 7-year-old girl, okay? So being a parent, you want to do the best that you can with them, right? And they hear me talk about this mindset work, and they talk about the micro wins, and even just the way that I parent them is different than if I was still stuck in that all or nothing judgment period, right? And that's what I want them growing up hearing, okay? Obviously, I'll keep them humble, but I want them to know, like, there's nothing wrong with being your biggest cheerleader, okay? Because the one person that you can depend on, you guys, no matter what. Let me say that again, because I really want you to hear it. The one person that you can depend on, no matter what, is you. And too often, we're letting that most important person down. We're going back on our word. We're saying we're going to do that workout, and then we get home and we're like, I'm too tired, right? Or we say that we're going to make the healthy dinner, but then we're like, oh, everyone's complaining about what I'm making. It's just going to be easier to order out. No, you told yourself you were going to do that. Stick to your word. Got it? Okay, so those are the micro wins, you guys. I would love, 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 love to hear some of your micro wins. What have you felt over the last 2 weeks, you guys? I think these workouts, obviously, they're amazing. And I hope that you guys are loving them as much, and you love seeing myself and Kate kind of bump in and out. It's so funny. Like, it's always like, it still kind of throws me off sometimes. I'm like, oh, here's me. That's kind of cool, right? But what are you feeling? How are you feeling? Are you taking the time to really focus on those things versus giving all of your power to that scale? Like, screw the scale. Yes, you can focus on losing weight. There's nothing wrong with that. But it's a very fine line of giving way too much power to that scale. So much power that it like ruins your life. Not worth it, okay? And the cool thing with these micro wins, you guys, what I've found for myself as well as my clients, is that when you focus on it this way, okay, it's like focusing on all the gains basically, right? Daily, those micro wins. If we feel like we're winning, we want to continue to move forward, right? We want to keep going. So if we want to keep going, and we really are taking all of these habits that we're doing in this group, the talking kind to ourselves and our thoughts, right? Our nutrition, our workouts, the supplements, supporting each other, better sleep, better hydration, better stress control, right? And we're taking those habits and we're doing it from a place of, I just want to feel better. What happens when we stack those habits on top of each other? That scale is going to continue to move, okay? Because you're learning how to fall in love with the actions and how they're making you feel and the micro wins along the way. And that scale, like I said, it'll keep moving. Eventually you will hit that number. But if we try to flip it and just put all the judgment on the fact that it's not moving fast enough, that's why people stop, right? That's why they give up. Because the journey is not fun. And I want to help you have fun with it. Okay, so that's your assignment, you guys. Drop below this video the micro wins that you've felt 2 weeks in. Okay, I cannot wait to see. The other thing, just a reminder, weekly, one of those models is due. I've seen a few of you guys do it. Some of you guys are like, do. I don't know if you're like scared to like let your brain go there and create the awareness, but I want this group to be different for you. Like, I don't know how many groups you've done before, right? It's going to be uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable to let yourself go to that place and like be aware of your thoughts, right? But like that is the missing piece as to why you haven't created sustainability. Got it? So drop that model below the featured post, okay? I check it once a day and go through and comment and kind of coach you guys through it. Got it? All right, guys, have a wonderful day. I'll see you later. Bye.